Think back to a single summer from your childhood. Not a whole year, just one summer. Chances are it feels enormous in your memory, a vast stretch of long afternoons that seemed like they would never end. Now think about last year, the whole year. For a lot of us, it is already a blur, gone almost before we noticed it arrive. The strange part is that both were exactly the same length, 12 months. So why does a year feel like it is shrinking every single time one passes? Almost everyone feels this. Ask anyone past 30 and they will tell you the same thing, usually with a kind of quiet alarm. The weeks fly, the months collapse into each other. You blink and somehow it is December again. We joke about it, but underneath the joke there is something unsettling, a sense that life is speeding up and we are quietly falling behind it. The clocks have not changed. We have. The oldest explanation is also the simplest, and it has a strange mathematical beauty to it. A 19th century thinker named Paul Janet pointed out that we feel a stretch of time in proportion to how much time we have already lived. To a 5-year-old, a single year is a fifth of their entire existence. It is vast. To a 50-year-old, that same year is 1/50th of their life, a thin slice off an ever-growing whole. Each year is real, but each one is a smaller fraction of the total, so each one feels a little thinner than the last. If that idea is right, then the arithmetic is quietly brutal. The summer you remember from age 7 felt long because it really was a large piece of all the life you had so far. By the time you are 40, you have lived through so many summers that no single one can take up much room. Time is not accelerating. You are just measuring it against a larger and larger pile of the past. But there is a second explanation, and I think it is the more useful one. It says we do not actually measure time with clocks at all. We measure it, after the fact, with memories. And memory does not record the hours evenly. It records what is new. The more first-time, vivid, unfamiliar experiences a stretch of life holds, the longer that stretch feels when you finally look back on it. Think about why childhood feels so enormous in the rearview mirror. It is wall-to-wall with firsts. The first day of school. The first time you rode a bike, saw the ocean, stayed up past midnight, had your heart broken. Every week brought something your brain had never encoded before, so every week got written down in vivid detail. Childhood is long in memory because it is dense. It is packed. Now look at a typical adult year. The same commute. The same desk, the same short list of routes between the same handful of places. Your brain, which is brilliantly efficient, notices that almost nothing is new and quietly stops taking detailed notes. Whole months get compressed into a single repeated template. When you look back, there is almost nothing there to give the time any length. The year did not go fast. It went unrecorded. This is the uncomfortable heart of it. The reason time speeds up is not really age. It is repetition. It is the slow takeover of your days by routine, by the familiar, by the autopilot that lets you drive all the way home without remembering a single moment of the drive. Familiarity is comfortable, and it is efficient, and it is quietly eating your sense of being alive. We do not lose time. We just stop noticing it. Once you see it that way, the fear of time speeding up turns into something more precise. It is not really death we are sensing at the edge of those vanishing years. It is absence, the feeling that we were technically present for a year of our lives, but did not actually attend it. That the months passed straight through us without leaving a mark. A life can be long in years and short in memory, and that, I think, is the thing we are most afraid of. But the same idea that explains the problem also quietly hands you the way out. If time feels long when it is full of the new, then you are not at the mercy of the calendar. You can make time thick again, not by doing more, not by cramming the schedule fuller, but by breaking the template. A different route, home. A real conversation with a stranger. A skill you are clumsy and embarrassed at. Anything that forces your brain to start taking detailed notes again. And there is a quieter version of the same medicine, one that asks for no travel and no novelty at all. It is simply attention. To actually taste the coffee, to notice the light on the wall, to be entirely inside one ordinary moment instead of half present for 100 of them. Routine only steals time when you are absent for it. The same walk you have taken 1,000 times becomes new the instant you actually look. Presence is how you record the days you would otherwise sleep straight through. So the goal was never really to add more years to your life. We do not get much say in that anyway. The goal is to add more life to your years, to make them dense again, the way they were when you were small and everything was still happening for the first time. A long life and a wide one are not the same thing, and only one of them is actually up to you. So the next time you feel a whole year slip through your fingers, try not to just mourn it. Treat it as a signal. It means you have drifted onto autopilot, that the days have started to blur together, and that it might be time to do one single thing that is genuinely new. The clock will keep moving at exactly the speed it always has, but you get to decide how much of it you are actually here for. If this gave you something to sit with, that is what this channel is for. Small shifts in how you see your own life. I will see you in the next one.